Certainly, Iran has been feeling in the last few years that the wind is at its back, that it's doing very well, that the United States, on the other hand, is doing very poorly in the region. And that has contributed to a tough stance that Iran has taken in these nuclear negotiations. Now, these have been nuclear negotiations, not negotiations about the whole region, but the mood that Iran has had has been a factor. And it will be interesting to see what happens in coming months, because in the last few weeks, Iran's had some important setbacks in the region. Iran's was insisting that the militia forces that it worked with could make an important battlefield victories in Iraq without any American assistance, and they couldn't.
This battle last week is an indication of why taking Tikrit is slow going. The counter-terrorism battalion is an elite unit, U.S. trained.
And it was publicly very embarrassing for the Iranians that the Iraqi government had to call for American airstrikes to assist in the campaign in Tikrit. And then the Saudis put together quite a broad coalition of countries to act in Yemen against a Houthi movement that Iranian politicians have frequently described as being pro-Iranian. And Houthi leaders, one of their first acts had been to go to Iran to ask for assistance. So the setbacks to the Houthi cause is also going to be perceived as a setback to Iran. An agreement to be successful is going to require that the regional states feel reassured that this agreement is not at their expense.
Mr. Netanyahu wants the U.S. Congress to do all it can to block the deal that's being negotiated with Iran.
This is a bad deal. It's a very bad deal. We're better off without it. This deal won't be a farewell to arms. It would be a farewell to arms control. And the Middle East would soon be crisscrossed by nuclear tripwires. A region where small skirmishes can trigger big wars would turn into a nuclear tinderbox.
Of course, the Israeli concern has been that an agreement will leave Iran well positioned to break out quickly to nuclear weapons, perhaps when the agreement ends in 10 to 15 years, or perhaps during the course of the agreement. And so a successful agreement will require persuading the Israelis that, in fact, that is not the case. Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates in particular have complained that a nuclear agreement might be perceived in Iran as a deal in which, if Iran slows or suspends its work on its nuclear program, then the West will turn a blind eye to Iranian destabilizing activities in the region. And a successful agreement requires that we find ways to reassure the regional states that that's not going to happen.